everybody, the great Dino Ranger here again, back with another unboxing and review. Today we got just one little figure we're going to review today, and that is the Jurassic World Dino Trackers Danger Pack Ornithocheirus. So I recently found this guy at my local King Supers, and I'm super excited because it's a new species to add to the Mattel collection, plus it's an Ornithocheirus that is a very unique pterosaur in the world of paleontology, you know, because it's famous in numerous amounts of media, but you know, it's just a very cool looking pterosaur, and I guess you could say it's happens to be one of my favorites. But you know, I grew up knowing Ornithocheirus mainly because of Walking with Dinosaurs, you know, whether it's from the Nigel Marvin Chased by Dinosaurs series, or just Walking with Dinosaurs, or even the Walking with Dinosaurs Arena Spectacular. I grew up with this pterosaur, you know, when I was younger because of all that stuff. So it's really cool how Mattel is bringing in this pterosaur for their Jurassic World assortment. I even believe this pterosaur was originally supposed to be in Dominion during concept art, or storyboards, whatever, but it isn't. But hopefully that means we will get this pterosaur sometime in the franchise in the future. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at this packaging. You know, it's your typical, you know, Dino Trackers packaging with blue and beta, the logos, you know, Dino Trackers, Mattel, the name of the animal. It says part of the ocean, which this doesn't mean it swims. It probably lived near coastlines and, you know, edge of cliffs, you know, by the ocean. So that's probably what they mean by it. But at least it makes more sense than the Edaphosaurus. That one was pretty weird to place into a water environment. Then here on the back, you got all the other figures, which I don't have them all. I'm missing that Velociraptor. But yeah, I'm just missing him. I have everything else, and I have reviewed everything else, so you can go ahead and check those out. But yeah, let's go ahead and take this pterosaur out of its packaging, which is only just two little snips, and then it comes out just like that. So pretty simple. And here is our Ornithocheirus, and I gotta say, I am pretty happy and satisfied with how this figure looks. Just a nice, you know, generic pterosaur. Well, it almost seems like a generic pterosaur, but it's also really special considering it's an Ornithocheirus. So really cool. Overall look at the figure, it looks really nice. I'm loving the amount of detail, the pose, the colors are on it. Really nice figure. I will say though, I am already pointing out one little nitpick I have with this figure. Actually, there's two little nitpicks I have with this figure, and nothing anything too terrible, but just something I'd like to point out is, number one, Ornithocheirus, this figure is missing teeth. We now know that Ornithocheirus, along with other pterosaurs like these, had little sharp needle-like teeth, at least in the front of the snout right here, which is used for spearing fish. But it is unfortunate that Mattel did not add that in. Mattel is always adding teeth to their pterosaurs, like the Tapejara, and I can't think if there's anything else. Oh yeah, obviously the Pteranodons, but that's okay because Jurassic Park 3 had Pteranodons with teeth in it. But you know, they give teeth in all these pterosaurs, and yet the one pterosaur that does have teeth, Mattel doesn't add the teeth in it. So that is a little bit of a downside, because Ornithocheirus has sharp little teeth here, and actually I'll go ahead and show a picture of what an Ornithocheirus looks like with teeth. So yeah, you can kind of get a good idea of what it would really look like, and that's you know, like I said, a bit unfortunate. The other nitpick I have is the amount of digits it has on its hand right here. It's supposed to only have technically 4. You know, it's got 3 sticking out, and this long one is supposed to be an elongated finger. But apparently this one has 5 fingers. It has 4 up here, and then the 5th one going down here. So that one itself is not accurate. It's supposed to only have 4, or at least the 3 sticking up, and this one has 4. Mattel should at least get rid of this extra little pinky digit right there. I don't know what Mattel was looking at for reference when they're making this figure, but it's probably not the most accurate in terms of that. But you know, like I said, it's nothing too terrible. It's not terribly noticeable, but in terms of accuracy, you know, that's something to point out. Everything else on the figure though is spot on. Let's take a look at the head here. You got the classic Ornithocheirus head with the really cool looking crest at the tip of the upper and lower jaw, which is really cool. I love the red patterning on it along with the dark bill. It stands out really well. It's like a cool little display feature to attract females. And I love the red around the eye with the yellow eye itself in the middle. Looks really cool. Reminds me of modern day birds that are just covered in feathers, and all of a sudden they have like this red patch of skin around their eye, which is really cool. You got the nostrils up there, which is pretty nice. The entire bill itself is sculpted very nicely. If we open the mouth, the inside of the mouth is nicely sculpted. I got a nice tongue right there. The gum flaps. It's just unfortunate that it does not have any teeth, but either way, it's a pretty cool looking figure. Here around the neck, you got some nice little pycnofibers, not feathers, but you got some nice arrangement of pycnofibers here at the back of the head. I think everything else is all skin. So you got pycnofibers here, and you got a whole bunch of them here around the upper part of the body, a little bit here around the shoulder, and a little bit on the wings, which is pretty interesting. Kind of like what they did with the Sunguripterus. They had like all kinds of pycnofibers on the membrane, which is really interesting. And they got it on the underside, kind of like where the armpit would be, and you got a little bit here around the chest. So it kind of reminds me of a vulture when it has like all that fluff of hair around the neck. That's really cool. But everything else is just all skin. But you know, nice sculpted skin. Nothing too special or over the top. Just a nice overall skin detail. The feet are nicely sculpted as well. A nice muscle definition in the legs, and you got a long tail on this pterosaur. I know these ones would have had smaller ones, but you know, it's just a tail. I'm not gonna drop Mattel points just for that. I know it probably didn't have that in real life, but for something like this, it's easy to get over more than the extra digit and the absence of teeth in the front of the mouth. But you know, other than that, it looks pretty nice. The wings themselves are nicely sculpted and a nice like line texture. It's got some damage on the wings. Like I love how it's like missing some pieces along here, kind of like modern day bats or just other pterosaurs you see in other media. And you got some little scratch marks along the wings. So this guy has definitely been in some tough situations, probably fighting other males over a female. You know, that's really cool to think about. Here on the underside, you got some nice membrane texturing underneath there, some more scratch marks. So yeah, overall really nice sculpted work on this Ornithocheirus. And more along the colors, I really love how the head is. I love this lighter color for the main part of the body, and you got like a nice brown for the wings, and then some yellow splotches on the tips, which looks really nice. Adds more color to this pterosaur. Think it would have been cool for the brown to maybe continue on the entire wing right here, but if you add in some white, it does get add some more color variation to the wings, which makes it look a bit more completed, which is always nice. So yeah, a really nice figure. Articulation, you got the jaw that can open and close, really nice, and then the head, or the neck anyways, can go down about that far and up about that far, so really nice range of motion. And then they can also rotate 360. The wings right here, just like all the other Mattel pterosaurs, they can go up and down, but also they can spin 360. So you got some nice motion if it's flying. And I also like how the wings are already in like in a curved position, which is also nice because sometimes you get a lot of pterosaurs that are just straight like wings, like just a straight wingspan all the way across. You know, it's nice to have some movement to the figure, which works really good for display or taking pictures. And then the legs can move forward and backwards, but I think they can move all together. Yeah, they move all together, so that's really nice. Then the tail can also maybe rotate. I don't know, it's not moving on mine. Doesn't really matter though, the tail looks good the way it is. And that's really it for articulation. You also got a scan code right here on the back, just like the Sunguripterus. Just peel that up. You got the Jurassic World T-Rex logo, and then here you got the scan code. Yeah, that's basically it for this pterosaur. Overall, a really nice one. We'll go ahead and do some comparisons. We only have one thing I'm going to compare it to, and that's just a human. I don't really have anything else I could compare to an Ornithocheirus. I would have done every single pterosaur that Mattel's done, but I'm gonna wait until I get the two Pandactylus to do that comparison. But here we got Ian Malcolm with the wings right here, just to kind of get a cool little comparison of how big this pterosaur is. I don't think there's an actual set size documentation of how big this pterosaur really is, because I think I'm not sure if it's either made too big in certain media like the Walking with Dinosaurs or anything else like that. I think even in Dominion it was supposed to be portrayed as a giant menacing pterosaur, but it got replaced by the Quetzalcoatlus instead. But I'm not sure how big Ornithocheirus really is. I don't think it's supposed to be like huge, like bigger than Quetzalcoatlus. I think in terms of the body and then the head and the snout, those proportions compared to a human, I think that itself is pretty accurate. The wingspan obviously should be much bigger, just really huge wings attached to this tiny little body. So yes, the wings could be bigger, which would add to the size of this thing, but overall I think it's a pretty nice scale overall, so I think they look really nice together. But yeah, that's going to be it for this review. It's just a kind of little quick one on this new species. Overall thoughts, I am really happy to have a new species to add to my Mattel collection. Ornithocheirus is such a cool pterosaur species. I have Walking with Dinosaurs to thank for that. Yeah, overall really nice figure, nice sculpt, nice colors. Everything about it is nice. I know it's missing some teeth and has like the extra digit, but it is what it is. These Mattel Jurassic World dinosaurs aren't meant to be accurate anyway, since they're all genetically modified, but it is what it is. It gets the idea around, so that's really nice. So I'd probably give this one probably the same as probably like an 8.5 out of 10, I would say. It's a really nice one. It's just only those little nitpicks that kind of drop it down a little bit, but either way, it's still a really cool figure. Highly recommend it for any Jurassic Park collector. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys again for the next video.